So, you're in a market for a video surveillance system, and you've definitely come across this big question. Should you get a DVR or an NVR? I mean, they look pretty similar, and they both record video, right? But underneath the hood, they are fundamentally different. Okay, let's jump right in and figure out which one is the right choice for you. Now, while both of these boxes are designed to record all your security footage and let you manage your cameras, the choice between them becomes crystal clear once you understand one single critical difference in how they work. And here it is. This is the big one. The most important distinction between a digital video recorder and a network video recorder is all about where the video footage gets processed and encoded into a format that can actually be recorded. Let's break that down because it's super important. With a DVR system, you have an analog camera that captures raw, unprocessed video. It sends that raw data over an old-school coax cable to the DVR. The DVR box itself then does all the heavy lifting. It processes and encodes the video. But with an NVR system, the camera is the smart one. The IP camera processes and encodes the video right there, on the spot. Then it just streams that finished video over a network cable to the NVR, which basically just saves the file. So remember this, with a DVR, the recorder does the work. With an NVR, the camera does the work. Okay, so what does that big processing difference actually mean for the hardware you'll be using? Let's take a closer look at the physical stuff, the cameras, the cables, and all the connections. So this is where you can really see how that one core difference dictates everything else. DVR systems use analog cameras. You might see fancy terms like TVI, CVI, or AHD. Don't worry, those are just different flavors of analog signals. These cameras connect using something called a Siamese coax cable, which is really just a video cable and a power cable bundled together. And they plug into those round, twist-on BNC ports you see on the back of a DVR. NVR systems, on the other hand, use IP or network cameras. They connect with a single, simple Ethernet cable that handles both video and power. So when you look at the back of an NVR, you won't see all those individual video inputs. You'll just see a block of network ports. But here's where modern DVRs have a really cool trick up their sleeve. They've evolved. A lot of them are now hybrids. This means they can accept all those different types of analog signals, TVI, CVI, AHD, which is awesome for compatibility if you're mixing and matching cameras. And on top of that, they can usually handle a few IP cameras over the network too. This makes them unbelievably flexible, kind of like a perfect bridge between the old analog world and the new IP world. NVRs, on the other hand, keep things really simple and all about the network. You've got two main ways to get connected. First, you can just plug the NVR into your router and it'll sniff out any IP cameras that are already on your home or office network. Easy. The second way, which is often even easier, is to plug your cameras directly into the ports on the back of the NVR. See, most NVRs have a built-in switch that uses power over Ethernet, or PoE. This creates its own little private network just for your cameras, which keeps all that video traffic off your main Wi-Fi. And this PoE feature, it's an absolute game changer. It means that one single Ethernet cable that you run to your IP camera delivers both the video signal and the electricity to power it up. This makes installation so much easier. You don't have to worry about finding a power outlet near every single camera you want to install. Okay, we've covered all the tech, but let's talk about the part everyone's really wondering about, the budget. How do these differences actually translate into dollars and cents? This is where we see this really fascinating thing I like to call the price inversion. For the cameras, it's a total flip-flop. Analog cameras are pretty simple devices. They just capture video, so they are way cheaper. IP cameras are basically little computers that process video, so they naturally cost more. But for the recorders, it's the exact opposite. Because the DVR has to do all that complicated video processing, its internal hardware is more complex and can be a little more expensive than an NVR, which is really just focused on recording the data it's given. So, when you actually add it all up, the recorder plus all the cameras, the total upfront cost for a complete NVR and IP camera system is usually going to be a bit higher than a full DVR and analog camera system. Now, it's really important to say that this is changing. IP technology isn't brand new anymore, and it's becoming way more common. That means the cameras are getting more and more affordable all the time, and that price gap is definitely shrinking. All right, we've looked at the tech, we've looked at the hardware, and we've talked about the cost. So let's bring it all together and finally answer the big question. Which recorder should you choose? So, Let's imagine the first scenario. You've got no existing cameras, no old wiring running through the walls. You're starting completely, 100% from scratch. In this situation, the recommendation is really clear and simple. Go with an NVR system. It is the modern standard for a very good reason. And here's why it's such a clear choice. Put simply, IP is the future of this stuff. Analog technology is pretty much as good as it's ever going to get, but IP systems are constantly improving. The setup is way easier, thanks to that power over Ethernet we talked about, and the cameras themselves are just smarter. This means they can handle advanced features like telling the difference between a person and a car, or even reading a license plate, and they do it right on the camera itself, without slowing down the recorder. Okay, but what about the second scenario? What if you're not starting from scratch? What if you already have an older system with a bunch of analog cameras and all that coax cable already running through your home or business? In this case, a modern hybrid DVR is the perfect solution. Honestly, it's the most flexible and cost-effective way to bring your old system into the modern age. I mean, just think about it. You can plug in all of your existing analog cameras and use all the existing cables. That's going to save you a ton of money and a massive installation headache. But because it's a hybrid, you can also start adding a few new, high-quality IP cameras to your system whenever you want. It really acts as the perfect bridge, letting you upgrade gradually toward a full IP system down the road. So, when you get right down to it, the decision really comes down to this simple question. Are you looking to maximize the value of what you already have by giving it a modern brain? Or are you starting fresh and ready to invest directly in the future of surveillance technology? The answer to that will tell you everything you need to know.